What's up, y'all? Kofi Kingston here, and I would love to have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks, depending on what that drink is, preferably non-alcoholic, you know?
How's it going? Tell me why you're James.
Soda.
I would love to have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks.
Maple syrup.
I would never have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks.
Well, hello. I guess I'm doing the intro again. Hopefully it was better than the last episode ones. So, you know what day it is. It's Thursday. It's Thursday Night Chaser. And, of course, I am kind of your host, maybe. This is Amanda Jane. And I'm waiting for my favorite introduction partner is Marv, because I kind of miss Marv. I'm not going to lie. I hope Marv comes by. I don't miss the farting, but I miss Marv.
Hell yeah.
Okay, I kind of missed that. Thanks, Marv.
Marv's explosive.
Yeah. I don't want to know. I really don't want to know about that, but you know.
I've been looking into getting Marv a wardrobe.
Ooh. I want to learn to sew so I can make Marv some wardrobe too. What were you thinking of getting him?
I went to Build-A-Bear and there's a lot of stuff that'll fit.
Oh.
So
cute.
A lot of options.
Dress him up like Hello Kitty, because I think they have those at Build-A-Bear.
They might, yeah. They might. Yeah.
Yeah, because they
got
came
all
out with
sorts of
new.
stuff.
I don't have a Build-A-Bear around me anymore.
It's a good call. There's like one mall in town that I think has one.
Hell, actually, I don't even think they have a Build-A-Bear even at like in San Francisco at Fisherman's Wharf. They used to, but
No.
you know, times
All right.
they're rough. They're rough. You know, yeah. I'm pretty sure probably like what the 5 listeners we have, maybe 6, are like, wow, you're on, but we're on.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been all over the place.
Yeah. Man.
Yeah.
He's just so I need to talk about him. Okay. I need to talk
he's
about
way
LA
over.
Night. Holy crap. I mean, holy hell. I mean, Marsh and I knew this from the get when he had the whole Shoes of a Champion thing. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, this is just I hope he does win the Rumble. or the Money in the Bank. I really do, because I'm sorry, not having a belt on this guy is a big mistake. So come on, Vince.
Yeah, but you kind of also got to think about who's the champion now, and they don't typically. It's been a while since they've done. It's been a while since the WWE's capitalized at all on Money in the Bank. They've done a really poor job of what's next, right? The last couple of years, they've put the Money in the Bank on somebody, and they've been like, well, how do we get out of this? You know what I mean? Like Otis, they just straight up took it off of him. He didn't even win it, and they gave it to him. We had a number of failed cash-ins. Austin Theory even failed his cash-in on the U.S. title. Austin Theory's best part of that whole run was how he kept trying to cash in on Roman, and the Usos would beat him up or something. So my concern about the concept of LA Knight. What are you doing? What the fuck are you doing?
I'm turning my fan on because it's hotter than Hades here.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh no, she's turning the fan on.
It's our first, it's like our first time of the year that it's going to be hot. And you're going to ask me, well, how hot is it? It's only like 78, but still. The 50s.
But yeah, my concern with LA Knight, if he actually took it, was what the fuck is next? So, I mean, do we really think that LA Knight's going to go cash in on Roman Reigns right now? Do we really think he's going to go over and cash in on Seth Rollins right now? It's too new on that title. So I think realistically, if you put it on LA Knight, he's got to hold on to it for like a year. And I just don't think that's the move. I don't think it's necessary. So I'm kind of in the camp that Logan Paul wins it, but LA Knight gets over. Like the Logan Paul goes over, but LA Knight gets over. If Logan Paul steals it from LA Knight, who everyone's already clamoring to cheer because they're cheering him even though he's doing heel promos and stuff, it'll push him into babyface territory. People will just be like, that's our guy. He should have had it. Shouldn't have been Logan. And it'll be the classic Logan Paul heel style of Brock Lesnar, where it's like they don't even like the business bullshit. I think it's a pretty shoe-in way to get shoes of a champion in way to get a LA Knight over as a babyface and Logan Paul over as a heel. And then you got time to build LA Knight and get him to the point where it makes sense for him to take the title off somebody. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just impatiently waiting, So that and then the only secret is, as we all know, what we normally talk about on Thursday, man. It's just Well, before we get there, and we do this on Thursday, let's have a little what's in your glass. So Marsh, tell us what's in your glass today.
I'm having like tea right now. I'm having this iced tea. It's watermelon, cucumber, mint, infused in cold water, it says. So I did that.
Wow, that's classy. I didn't know we were classy.
I just don't have booze in the house, really. So
I
don't know where we're at with it.
You don't have booze? You don't have booze?
Yeah, grocery shopping's tomorrow. So.
Oh, okay. I get it. First of the month. Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, me, I've got two things. Obviously, my old go-to, my regular Coke, but also I'm going to have some of my Golden State cider. I'm having the Pinnacle one today. I can open it up.
I was seeing those when I was in California for a couple of weeks. Those were popping up all over the place. I just didn't get a chance to grab one. But I think I did have one somewhere. Yeah.
Did you?
Really good.
They're the best.
Yeah, I had the regular one, the original.
Mighty Dry.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Really good.
That's my third favorite. The other two are seasonal. Which is any day now they're going to be dropping Radical Pineapple. I'm going to be buying boatloads of it. And then
apple ciders are really good.
And I still have Radical Guava that they do. It's really nice. That's cool. I've been saving it because I only found one case, like 4-pack. So, but hey, but remember, people, it's not what you're drinking; it's about who you're drinking with. So, cheers to y'all's.
Cheers.
Yeah, jeez, I'm like hosting. I mean, since I'm kind of hosting, I think. You should do the birthdays. Haha. No. I should have
What's your
sprung that
segment?
up on you earlier. Yeah, no, but it is my segment. Yeah, but I'm also hosting. That's your segment. It's hosting. I'm like, oh, huh? What? Yeah. Episode 1, people. Episode 1. Yeah, we'll get it right. Now, this one is packed with a lot of people that we know.
Yeah.
Some we like, some we don't like. Especially today. Today, these people,
Hit
the
it.
mama and daddies, were a lot of these guys. I'm like, whoa, you guys are really getting it on. So happy birthday today to Alicia Fox. I'm glad that
very cool.
she's, yeah, I'm glad. I've always liked her. And I know she had some, issues and whatnot, but I'm glad to see her kind of, overcoming that. Terry Funk has a birthday today. Let's see here. My Asian sister from another mister, Sue Young, the Undead Bride. Love her. And you know whose birthday it is? And I will prelude this too. It would have been great if he had a birthday shirt that was also some kind of charity that he would give it to. I don't know what. People without birthdays or, something. But happy birthday, Cody Rhodes.
Oh yeah.
Whoa. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Dude, he's way over right now too.
Yeah, I don't get that. Well, I mean, I get that. But I had an argument today with a friend about Cody Rhodes, and he was always destined to go back. And I go, no. I think that certain people who like to play God didn't like the fact that Cody knew what he was doing. But anyways, I digress. So moving on. The best there was, the best there ever will be. His birthday is on the 2nd, so happy birthday, Bret Hart. Also, someone that someone that freaking Marsh loves a bunch, and I'm surprised you didn't say this, but Charles Robinson.
Yep. Robinson, Bret Hart are the 2nd.
Yep. Scotty Two Hotties on the 2nd. And you know who's on the 3rd? One of my freaking favorites. Goddamn, the bad boy, Joey Janela. So
that's cool.
Drinking one for you. And if you know Joey, you'll see this. Here's the taste. He samples and he says they taste like cum. Don't know why he does that. I don't know why he does that. That's his shtick. But anyways,
it's a little early. But Sean Waltman, X-Pac, his birthday's the 13th. That's coming up too.
Oh, I know. There's a lot of good birthdays in July.
Yeah.
But to round off these things, Barry Windham, Hillbilly Jim, he's awesome. And then, of course, there is a bunch of people on that day. So Jerry Skaggs, and one person that you guys absolutely love and adore, Adam Cole, baby. And that's it for birthdays.
All right.
Yeah.
You know what's kind of neat? Speaking of that, Amy, because I know you said that like Cody wasn't destined to come back, and I feel like that the real answer is he absolutely was destined to come back, but the long answer is, but that all changed with AEW. He didn't have to come back at that point anymore, but something occurred there that reminded him why he wanted to go back. Like he was always meant to come back until the other stuff happened, and then it was like, well, maybe not. Like I think that. Yeah, something happened that definitely put the bug back in him towards like, no, I got to go back.
Yeah,
I think
it was
the goal, but
yeah, I think it was because actually Cody had a lot of pretty good booking for a while there, and we knew it obviously wasn't Tony's booking because things made sense. I don't know, but I'm glad that he's doing well over there.
Yeah.
I was hoping that you get the belt, but that's okay. Yeah. In due time.
WWE's a weird. It's like a weird creature right now, where it feels like that, regardless of how stale some of this stuff is, the fan base has completely gotten on board with who they like and who they want to boo. Like they're passionately booing the heels, they're cheering the baby faces, and like, regardless of how stale or how stuck in a rut any of the stories are, the people are still way over. So it's just like there's a lot of good faith, I think, from the fans right now, which is really cool.
Yeah, it's nice to see that.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the same for like AEW. That I don't know, because that's very polarizing right now. And I don't know. I don't know how much you've kind of seen or read about in the last couple of weeks with the start of the Phil Brooks show, as I like to call it. Did you see any of that? Or
I've seen some
sampled any of
clips
that?
here and there, and every time I start to try and watch anything, it's just I just don't like it. Like I watched a couple matches on Forbidden Door, and I was like, I'm just shocked that their commentary can be so bad still. I'm shocked that the refs are still so awful. Like, no one's trying to get better. No one's trying to make it cohesive. Like, it's such a status quo whirlwind of shit. It's crazy. Like, so whenever there's something really good happening, you can bet anything. You can bet the house that something on that same screen at the same time is just shitting the bed. You know what I mean? No matter how great one thing is, something else in that presentation is really doing a bad job and taking away from how great the entire package could be. Like there's no effort to make it all great.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's totally right. I mean, the only one of the refs now, I don't know if you noticed, but they've been bringing in a lot more new refs, which I've noticed. Now, I don't know if it's because they're trying them out. That I don't know, but it's kind of nice to know that at least they have one. Besides Paul Turner, they have one serious ref. Is what Stefan Smith? I think that's his
Stephen
last name.
Stephen Smith, yeah.
Or Stephen, yeah, whatever.
He's really good.
Sorry, guys.
They're both those guys are good, but they're just stuck in a world where they can't just be good. Even like because I watched Tony Storm and Willow Nightingale, and Stephen Smith was the ref there, and watching him having to try and figure out how to not count people out was really weird. Bryce Remsburg was refereeing the other match that I watched, which was Daniel Bryan and Okada, and
that I was shocked about.
Bryce,
I was like,
he was just not only was he terrible in general and just a cartoon, but he's also just clearly not good for the health of the wrestler in the ring, and made that very evident. It's just
I'm shocked.
yeah. It's just one of those things where it doesn't matter how good you are. Paul Turner's great. Stephen Smith is great. But they're not allowed to use rules.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're only allowed to count when they know they can, when they know that they're only allowed to count if it's not actually going to impact anything. Like, if they know that they're going to be out there for longer than 10 seconds, they know they can't count. They know they're not allowed to because they know that the talent won't do anything to protect the rule and even try to come back.
Yeah.
Like, at least in WWE, they're all staying around. Like Randy Orton's so great at it. He'll go out of the ring all the time for way too long, but he keeps rolling back in and rolling out, which is a goofy rule. And it's a goofy go get around and loop. And he's breaking a count, restarting a count. And it's silly and it's dumb and it's wrestling, but at least it's consistent. You know what I mean? Like, so I can buy into the goofiness of it. Cheers to Justin Time coming through. I'm trying to get Justin back on the show. He's like, doesn't have a setup right now. He just moved.
Oh, well, you need to come back. Maybe we will watch NXT.
There's been some neat stuff going on over there, but even then they're messing up. Baron Corbin came back as the lone wolf and then lost. Don't rebrand a guy just to lose. Come on, wait till the losing is over to rebrand.
Okay, look at Apollo. That was like, what the frick was that? Oh, is he still down in NXT? I know that's just that was a fail, epic fail. But I don't know. That didn't make sense. The best one that made sense was Mandy. That was the best one. Need I say?
Yeah.
It hasn't been good since Mandy's been gone. I'm gonna say that. Sorry, folks.
I mean,
I don't know. There's something that her presence elevated everybody.
It did. It did. Yeah. It did because it felt like there was a lot going on, and it does feel a lot like the kids learning. right now.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah. But, hey, I mean, I'll go back if I can, if, 2 hours is good. Excuse me. But I don't know, because now there's like 5 hours of goddamn AEW. And if you count Ring of Honor, 7.
it's just
But
way too much for a show they haven't gotten down right
it's,
yet.
yeah. And what's awful about it is, this is my gripe. My gripe about it is the same people are on the same every single show. I'm sick of John Moxley. I'm sick of Claudio. I'm sick of Wheeler Yuta. I'm sick of Orange Cassidy. Who else is on every show? I'm sick of Daniel Garcia. And, Jericho. Actually, Jericho, I'll give him that. He's only on one show. But, everybody else who's doing this double dipping, it's like, I'm over it. It's like, why can't you stay in your lane? Because each division, there's enough people that you can put people in each one and it'll still be a great product. But yeah, I just, it just baffles me. So that was very interesting with it. But
I think part of it is they were
I don't
leading
know.
up to a pay-per-view, and so they had everybody in town. I think that's part of it. Hopefully, I mean, I guess we'll find out because now
No.
we're going to be going into a time frame that's not leading directly into a pay-per-view. We're going to see what Collision's going to actually look like week to week because they launched it right
Well,
before pay-per-view, so it's not going to look like what it's going to look like.
Well, they launched it before a pay-per-view and they launched it in Chicago because it is the Phil Brooks show. And that's what they did. And if you notice, I don't know if you did, but I did this, the second installment of the Phil Brooks show. He got booed. There's a significant boo. So, it's just funny to me because I'm like, it's no right and wrong. And his first promo that came out, he told me, if I'm not, something about lying and whatever. And I'm just like, dude, you're just taking shots at everybody again. Nobody's right in this situation when they all do that. So, I'm like,
yeah, I
pathetic.
wasn't impressed with him coming back, and to be honest, I just couldn't care less. And the thing is, this is like, it's also been evident for years that Punk doesn't care about wrestling or the fans, and hasn't almost ever. He's cared about himself, and it becomes more and more evident the longer you let him do stuff. And so, if you're going to let him come back so you can run on his contract, fine. But I'm not interested in him or what he's doing or what he wants or what he likes or any of that.
Absolutely. And
Willis
it
coming
was
through. He says he's
I
drinking sparkling iced kiwi strawberry. Cheers to Willis.
Hey, Willis. Cheers. Cheers, Mr. Willis.
Yep.
Yeah. You know what was sad is yesterday they were in Hamilton, Ontario. Okay.
Yeah.
That's where Ethan Page is from. Do you think? I mean, I feel like they should have had him in there for something, And I'm like, man, because he was like the press boy. They had all these clippings that he was posting for, this newspaper and that newspaper, this, TV show and that TV show. And you don't even let the guy even come on the screen, come out and say something. I'm like, damn, that's really fucked up, I think.
That is really weird. That is weird. It's weird for AEW. I wouldn't say that's weird for WWE because they do stuff like that all the time and usually beat people in their hometowns and stuff. And so it's like, that's a thing. But AEW has really set a precedent for like making hometowns a big deal. Remember when Darby won the TNT title, it was basically only because they were in his hometown. And then Hobbs gets it back basically because they're in the hometown. Like the TNT title seems to just flip depending on the hometown. So this should have been Ethan Page's chance to hold the TNT title for a couple weeks.
Yeah. Like look what they do to Ricky. Ricky has these big moments in Austin. I can't say with New Orleans because they only did New Orleans once, but I'm pretty sure that if it's New Orleans, they're gonna do something for him there. Now, I don't know. Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm just kind of like, okay, bitter person. But yeah, it's like, some of these people, it's a big deal. I mean, it's a big deal. I don't know who's from like Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, but they're doing a thing there. And I'm just like looking at it, right? I'm looking at the poster. And I'm like, it's a dynamite there. I'm like, I don't think, and correct me people if I'm wrong, but I don't think Saskatchewan has a lot of people there.
I don't know.
I
don't
mean,
know
I
what's
can't
around
even
it.
say Saskatchewan. Yeah, I don't even know how to say that. So, you know, it is what it is. I mean, they're in Canada, so it's Edmonton, and then they're going to be in Regina. And it's just, I just shake my head. And then Calgary. So what's interesting is Calgary, because isn't that where Jericho's from? Winnipeg. Never mind. Sorry, Winnipeg. Canada's Canada. It's just big. But yeah,
Calgary
no,
was
there's
Bret
some.
Hart.
Oh yeah, that's right, and all the hearts. Oh yes, that's right. There's someone else that was from Calgary too. But anyways, yeah, they've got some weird pay-per-views like coming up. Like I don't know if you call, well, Death Before Dishonor bothers me. It should not be on the. It's well, first of all, Death Before Dishonor was always in September, and for the longest time, Death Before Dishonor was in Las Vegas. So that I'm like, that's not my ROH. I'm just saying. But they're doing the same old shit. They're doing the fucking Florida loop. They're doing, Columbus, Nashville, Lexington. They're doing all the same again. And then, of course, Chicago again, because we get all out there.
Yeah.
I have no interest. The only interest I would have is to go to Cash Cast and CJ White. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or because I yeah, or the other one, excuse me, is I'd actually buy the Darby and get Sharky Boy to sign it.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Because I want the Darby. I want him to sign it. But yeah, no, just things like that. But I don't know. AEW is weird. I mean, I have like that whole CM FTR Starks or whatever they called it, or I call it Absolute Phil. That one we already knew if they were going to lose. We knew who was going to take the pin. I didn't have to watch it to know. Also, didn't have to watch the promos to know that Ricky was going to be at the end, because God forbid you have him fucking overshadow Phil. God forbid, which he can. And then with them, when it was the first, was it when they, I don't know, it was the one time when they had all jumped in the ring. Oh yeah, it was, I don't know if it was Dynamite or oh no, it was, I don't know. But anyways, they all bleed together. There's too many of them. But when Ricky came in to, help, and so did FTR, it was funny because after, they were all in the ring, Phil was talking to FTR. I think Dax had gone up before that and shake Ricky's hand. And then Ricky's just standing there, just, lone kid on the bench, So finally Phil acknowledges him like 10 minutes later, and it's like, oh, and I'm like, that was so phony. And I'm like, fuck you, Phil. You're such an ass, But hey,
Yeah, I'm
some
kind
people
of tired of
wanted that.
Kind of tired of Punk's like whole t-shirt line at this point. Like he's doing a mock, like he's taking a Roddy Piper shirt, he's doing a Bret Hart style shirt. Him and FTR did a Hart Foundation shirt, and I'm just all like, you guys are just straight up ripping off the designs of these other people who are very popular. Are you cutting them in? Like re-releasing a Roddy Piper shirt but calling it a Punk shirt? You gonna go ahead and cut that into the Piper estate? Are they gonna get some of that? Is Bret Hart getting some of the money from all these Bret Hart inspired shirts that Punk's wearing now? Like, it's just, to me, kind of shitty. Like, he's trying so hard to build his legacy around the idea of other greats and not be great.
Yeah.
Like, you've got your own iconic stuff. Go with that.
Yeah, he knows he's not great, because it's like, God forbid.
He's desperately trying to force a comparison. Please compare me to Bret Hart. Please compare me to Roddy Piper. Please. No one ever has, because you're not. You're not them.
Yeah. I would compare him to, I don't know, Festus.
Who?
Maybe. Festus.
Who? Oh, Festus? Yeah.
Festus. Yeah. Yeah. I compare him to that, or let me think. Gosh, there really isn't anybody. There isn't, because he's not even on Cena's level. Never was, especially in the Peach game. But we're not talking about that though.
Yeah.
Which it's funny to me. But everybody, of course, they're always going to be in Chicago. I think they're going to be there like fucking every other month or every month, because that's the only place that he gets that reaction. Because a lot of people still, there's going to be people who wear shirts, but a lot of people, aren't buying the bullshit.
Yeah, there's a lot of people not on the bandwagon for him right now. So I don't know, kind of neat to see though.
Yeah.
I'm curious when he does pop up on the different places. I do like hearing how the crowd's reacting to him, because I think that it's been pretty split, and that's kind of neat.
Yeah.
Do you think, because Tony still definitely has not said that they're doing a split, it does feel a lot like they're doing a split though, right? Are they just never going to acknowledge it?
They're never going to acknowledge it, I think. And also, it's weird because you have so many that are just melted in. It's kind of too late to split people off. So it's more like you're going to split off the lesser players, so to speak. So it's great to see Scorpio Sky coming back, because I know we had talked about him on episode 1, and where the heck is he? Is he still injured? He just walked off the planet. So I'm liking what they're doing with him. Basically he's like, I lost myself. I'm coming back. I was the first, half of the first ever tag team champs. I was, the first 2-time TNT championship winner. I'm liking how they're going with it. I hope they run with it, because the last couple of things that they did for him were horrible. And I just am like, he's so good that, work on people like that. What happened to the original people that came to this company? There's very few of them now.
My first time seeing him at Double or Nothing, Scorpio Sky, he was the big takeaway I had from that whole night. I remember there was like 2 major things I walked away with, and that was that Dustin Rhodes and Cody Rhodes made magic, and I was like, and Scorpio Sky is going to be a huge star for them. And then they just did nothing to try and capitalize him. I thought he had so much going for him, and I don't know, it is cool to see him come back, because I think that the potential he's got is just insane.
Amazing. Yeah, and I think people also forget the fact that original LA dojo, he works with Shibata. He was the other trainer. And I've always liked Scorpio Sky. I've always liked him. And it just sucks how I just hated that whole thing with freaking, Dan Lambert. I hated that for, Ethan Page too. And it just kind of is like, please don't drop the ball, Tony. Please. Like, you have good intentions sometimes, but the follow through, it falls underneath the little bumps that you have on your table. It just kind of goes slides.
He's got a lot of really bad ideas.
Yeah.
Christopher Willis says CM Punk is the best and the Elite is trash.
Oh,
I think
Willis,
it's fair to say
trash.
they're both trash. They're both trash.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of my biggest issues with why I don't watch the shows regularly at all, is just because all of their top stars I don't like. Like, I like a lot of their mid-card guys, or the guys they just throw away or never put on TV. It's like, oh, great, I'm so glad they signed this person. And then you go look up, try to find any of their matches, and you're like, no, they haven't had any for months. And you're like, oh, okay, well.
Yeah.
But like, I don't
CM
like
Punk
Elite either.
Yeah. Well, CM Punk is a bottom feeder. Okay. At least the Elite, let's go there. They have no shame in their game being tacky. They don't. And that's what's kind of like, for me, that's kind of they don't care. They can take joke, unlike some people. But it doesn't matter if there were, apologies and everything was good in the hood. I still, there's only one person actually 2 people who need an apology. And that's Colt Cabana and Marsha Colton. Because they didn't do anything.
Yeah.
They just were in the line of fire. Yep. So cheers to Mama Cabana and her son.
Yeah.
I mean, he is a man-child. I mean, I understand why she probably did that, because he's a man-child. So, I'm just saying,
What did you think of the Bryan Danielson wrestling for 10 minutes with a broken arm? Because I've seen like people going back and forth on it, and I feel like it's pretty cut and dry. I feel like you should not wrestle with broken bones.
Exactly. And yeah, exactly. I was kind of disturbed by it, right? And
Yeah.
I know it's Okada, it's a big deal, but shit, you're risking probably your career on that.
That's my other
Is it
thought.
worth
Is
it?
I wonder if his career is
Yeah,
going to be wrapping
it's-
up shortly.
Yeah. And I mean, honestly, I think if we see this again, it'll be at Wrestle Kingdom, because then
That'd be cool.
he can say that he's done the Dome and he was the best in the world at the Dome. And I think that would be very telling, and that would be a great way to end your career. That's my prediction right now. So all you sheets that like to rip us off, take that one, because we know where that came from. Right here, the dead part.
I could see him having a final match in the Dome, even coming back to WWE to wrap up or going to the Hall of Fame or something. I could see him doing something like that.
No.
But I don't see him needing a story to wrap up his WWE career. I feel like he could just come back for the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, he'll come back to the Hall of Fame, no doubt. But I think that the career ends there, because it's going to be something that's, I don't want to say indie-rific, but, in that same vein. So, I think that's like a goal of some people's. And I don't think he ever did the Tokyo Dome, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's in itself is pretty amazing. Other people haven't done the Tokyo Dome, I feel.
Yeah.
Just saying.
You know what's neat is, so the match I thought was good. I mean, it was a great match. Okay. They're awesome, Okada and Bryan. But I couldn't get over how much the commentary took away from the match and how much the referee took away from the match. Like, you have 3 things going on at one time, and one of them is great, and the other ones are so bad that you're like, they're taking away your ability to enjoy something great. Like, you're actually making a great thing worse. Like, you're making it so it's hard to watch. Like, it's crazy.
I'm very shocked that they didn't have, because it was Shivani, wasn't it? Shivani for that match. It was Shivani,
Excalibur, and Kevin Kelly.
Kelly. It's like Shivani should not have been up there. I think I think that JR should have been, because
he's got some
it's a little bit more technical. He'd have a little bit more to add, even Taz for that matter. But Shivani should not be in there. Like, he should not be in those ones that are pretty high profile. So that kind of bothered me. And the way they worked with Kevin Kelly was kind of, there is no chemistry. So I'm just like, it reminds me of ones that I love him with, like Juice the Gambino. Oh my God, it's my favorite. And, and that rapport he has. So that was really interesting to me. And it just was like, it feels forced. And he even, I'll give him credit. He even has great chemistry with Ian Riccaboni. I mean, how I feel about Ian Riccaboni. He gets a little much. But with Kevin Kelly just calms him down, so he doesn't have that. So that's where I'm like, this doesn't make this is not, it's just not helping that match. And especially if you don't know who Okada is, which I'm pretty sure 70% of the people, well, no, I'll say 60% of the people didn't know who he was.
Yeah, there's a good chunk of people who didn't know, but they could tell that it was important to Bryan, which is kind of crazy. But like, I thought what was nuts is that, like, as they're trying to tell this story that's going on, they never try to utilize that any of the reason behind anything they're doing was to win. You know what I mean? Like, they talked about Okada taking a move to the top rope. Specifically, Kevin Kelly mentions, I've seen him do this. I think he's going for this maneuver, whatever it was called, raindrop, rainfall, something, I don't know, landslide, and said that he's seen him from the second rope and never the top rope. And so Tony's like, do you think he's trying to, because he's on a bigger platform than normal, do you think he's trying to do moves that you would do moves you wouldn't normally see someone do? And Kevin Kelly's like, yeah, maybe. And I was like, you don't think they're trying to do it to win? You don't think this has anything to do with him trying to put Daniel Bryan away? Like the idea that
Yeah.
like it was a very like video game answer. It was very much like, oh, this is to show off this move they know, not to win the match. It really like
Yeah.
they look like two dudes trying to win, and the commentary was talking about it like two dudes trying to show off what moves they know how to do before the bell rang. And I was like, what a weird way to minimize what is otherwise a great match. You know what I mean? Like commentary was
Oh, yeah,
taking
no.
story away from the match. They're
Oh,
giving context they're supposed to provide, and then they just removed it. They're like, no, it's not because they want to win. It's because because it's all about moves. And you're like, fuck, Christ.
Yeah. Yeah. And it just, I just was like, part of it, I was totally taken out of it because I'm like, it was, I don't know. It was just something like, okay, this is very elementary, and it's not giving the pomp and circumstance that this match deserves, because it is a big deal,
Yep.
And as someone who's seen Okada, like, I don't want to say plenty, a lot of times, that for me, this is probably one of the biggest deals. Now, I've never been to Japan, so I can't say about like the Tokyo Dome. But when I've seen him, it was a pretty big deal. And I've seen him, I think the biggest stage I've seen Okada in was probably All In. I'll say that. Because of what was writing on it and things like that. And, honestly, this was a great match for Okada, because since the styles kind of match and Okada is a slow worker, I think it worked well. Just the commentary,
great, yeah.
you'd have to mute it, because it just or I'd rather watch the Japanese commentary, listen to that, because at least they sound a little bit more educated than the other ones. So, but yeah, it was a little rough.
Yeah,
it was a little
Tony
rough.
and Caliber took away so much from the actual match that it was remarkable. Bryce Remsburg took away as much as he could, trying to make everything look goofy and silly, selling things happening to other people for way longer than they were selling it for. The other thing is this, like, so Daniel Bryan breaks his forearm from a flying elbow from Okada, and he starts like trying to deal with that level of pain because it's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
And so at one point, the Bryce does ask the doctor to come in, and I believe that to be real. That was a shoot. But while the doc is actually checking on him because he's responding a certain way, Okada gets in between them and just says, nope, we're going to keep the match going. And everyone was just okay with that. And that was so crazy to me that Bryce didn't stop that from happening, that the doc didn't stop that from happening, that nobody tried to protect Daniel or Bryan at all. No one tried to protect them. And producer lady was asking me, she goes, well, do you think that Bryan was telling them he could keep going? And I was like, first off, yes. Second off, I don't give a shit. Of course he's going to say that. He could say that without an arm. You know what I mean? Like, the question isn't can he, it's should he, right? And that's the job of the doctors and the referees, who are supposed to be there for the health and well-being of the wrestlers as well as the story, is to determine should it, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, famously, Daniel Bryan was really upset at Triple H for calling the match for a concussion that clearly happened on screen. And Daniel was saying how mad he was that Triple H, of all people who wrestle with 2 torn quads, would call his match. And Triple H's response was, yeah, but I shouldn't have. Someone should have stopped it. Like, the question isn't, will you say that you're okay? It's, is this too much and too far? So the fact he was wrestling for 10 minutes, and Okada does a ton of those ripcord moves where he grabs you by the arm and twists you over, and he always grabbed Daniel's right arm. And I was all like, oh my God, the amount of damage he keeps doing when you can see it's clearly discolored and limp.
Yeah.
It was nuts. That part was super uncomfortable and unnecessary, I thought.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think I think with Okada, and I'm not saying this because, I'm an Okada whisperer or whatnot, but I think with Okada, why he did that, like, okay, let's continue with it, is because I think that they both knew how important it was. And I think in his mindset, it's like, we can't go out like that. The world's not created for us
Sure,
to
you
go out
don't
like
want
that.
it to.
You know?
I could understand not wanting it to go out on calling the match, but I don't
Mhm.
understand going on for 10 more minutes. I don't understand the
Yeah,
use
that,
of
no.
all of the ripcord moves. I feel like that
Yeah.
if you know there's an injury, and the idea is that finish can't be this, working another 1 or 2 minutes and figuring out a good way to get into a submission that catches Okada or whatever. Because the other thing is, once he had Okada in the label lock, Okada was just
Mhm.
not tapping out for a long time, and it looked like
Yeah.
Bryan was getting upset. And that's all. If you
Yeah.
look, at one point he holds back his arm with his bad arm
Mhm.
and starts just hitting Okada in the face over and over again,
Mhm.
then does one move, and that's when he taps. Because I think he was all like, fucking stop, dude. Just tap out. Like, at this point, what are we
Yeah.
doing? And to be honest, the last 10 minutes of
Yeah.
the match, there wasn't so much there that it was all like, oh, that was all necessary. You could have shortened that up to a couple minutes and protected Daniel Bryan at least a little bit, you know?
Yeah. But again, like I said, Okada is a very slow worker. And not only just that too, but I think that, he's not known for having these really short matches. So, it has to be a little epic. And
But they were like
do I
20
agree
minutes
with
in when
that?
the arm broke.
Oh, I know. So
You
going
know?
another 10.
So I was like, what are we
Because
doing?
if they had called it at 20, I can't tell you when an Okada match has been 20 minutes. I can't remember. They're usually probably about 30 minutes at most.
Yeah.
On the average. Mm-hmm. So
I just wonder how much damage was done in the last 10 minutes that didn't need to be done. And I wonder how much more time that puts Bryan out and on the shelf, or even having to retire. Like, it was crazy. Brie Bella, she tweeted out, she goes, I don't know if I should be proud or pissed that he wrestled for 10 more minutes after this break and put up his x-ray. And I was like, what do you mean you don't know? You should be pissed. You should be pissed because you should be the one concerned about his health. He should be proud because that's the kind of person he is, and he's a fighter and a warrior. That's what that is.
Yeah.
But you, as the wife, and you should be pissed. Definitely be pissed. And
I get what she's saying.
Sure. I don't get it, because I think a lot of people made mistakes in there. And I think Bryan did exactly what he was expected to and should do, and what you would expect him to do. And I think everyone else was making mistakes around him, and it made it worse.
Yeah. Yeah.
No one put his safety first or his health first. And you don't expect him to, realistically, in that scenario. Yeah. You expect others to at least try. It's fucking crazy. That kind of stuff was a bummer. Yeah. And then they were trying to play it off like it was a concussion on commentary, and I was like, shut the fuck
I know, that was like stupid. I'm like, who is saying this? Are you dumb?
Oh,
how do you get a concussion in your arm?
Yeah. They were trying to play it off. Is he having convulsions? We know about his concussion issues. He's convulsing in there. And I was like, guys, let's not go that way. Like, commentary was awful.
Yeah.
Awful.
Yeah. It was pretty bad. I think they were exhausted by then, because there was a lot of
commentary was also so bad that by the end of the match, I didn't realize it was the main event. They didn't do anything.
Yeah, they didn't make it special.
There was no tone in their voice that sounded special at all. Yeah. Or the fact that Bryan was clearly injured and they didn't say, oh, it's the main event and this is why it's important. Just go, oh, he keeps favoring that arm. Isn't that weird? I was like, fuck. God.
Yeah, I know. But they sure were but they sure were fucking into Kenny Omega and Ocean Spray. They were. Yeah. I thought it was okay. And I'm not saying this because I absolutely hate Ocean Spray, without a shadow of a doubt. Hate. And then of course you have Phil on the same show, and I'm just like, God, this is trash. Yeah, if you want trash, Willis, this was trash. I get it. Every dog has to have its day. Oh, Willie boy. But I thought it was gross when he was licking Kenny Omega's blood. He was on Ocean Spray's bicep, and he was licking it. I'm like, that is disgusting. Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, it was just poor taste, and yes, he was bleeding again. Did I like that? Abso-freaking-lutely. Did I expect him to win? No, he should have, but is what it is. But again, I think that they were so hell bent, the commentary, in that match. They were spent. It took all of their energy, and I'm like, it was brutal. It was brutal.
Mhm.
There were times where Ocean Spray was brutal, and there were times when Kenny was brutal. But I like what they're alluding to now is like Kenny's like, okay, there's going to be one more, and I have a feeling it's going to be at Wembley. Yep. So you get your fucking moment in the sun, Ocean Spray. You get it. But guess what? You're not going to win there. Nah. But yeah.
Did I had asked you this before, but I want to ask you now.
Okay.
When I saw Osprey in Long Beach, he was working the shoulder. Like he was acting like the shoulder was bothering him. And this is after he cut that promo on Twitter where he was saying one more shoulder injury could be the end of his career. He doesn't know how many more times he can be able to recover from this. And even at the end of the match, he did this whole thing where he like, apparently what it looked like to me and my brother who were sitting there, that he popped his shoulder back into place and then started doing stuff. And we're like, yo, is that real? Or did he just make it look that way? I thought that if it were real, it's a bummer. If, for him to have that happen right before we knew he was going to be coming this direction towards Kenny. But if it were a work, as it were, how great will that be for the Kenny match to be able to lean into if I have one more shoulder injury, it's a problem, and then start showing stuff like him popping it back into place and, his shoulder is weak, and have Kenny work the shoulder and put the career at risk here to fight against Kenny. I was like, that could be a great story. So I was asking you, did they work the shoulder into the match?
No. I mean, it was mentioned by commentary, but no, it wasn't. It was more of, we're out to kill each other. That was more of the sentiment of it. Now, Will Ospreay, is he faking it? No. And also, I want to say the comment of, he's too dumb and he doesn't sell. So I don't think he would know how to fake something like that. But I feel that with that whole match, because it was what it was supposed to be, that was not the issue. And even if he didn't, because that's not what they were going to highlight with it. It was more like his revenge. That was more of the thing. Didn't care. If he had hurt his shoulder and he got retired, you know what? He beat Kenny Omega. He got his revenge. Granted, it wasn't it wasn't at the Tokyo Dome or anything like that, but he got it. So, and like I've said before in episode 1, those guys that do that style, that's a short career. So it's like when I watch Darby now, when I used to watch him before he got signed, oh my God, the things he would do. And even Guevara, it's like, holy crap, you guys are going to die. I mean, it's that extreme. And when I see with Ocean Spray, because he's not controlled very well, that's when injuries happen. Because, case in point, Ricochet. I've never heard that Ricochet has had those kind of issues. Concussion? No. Sure, because they all get him. But not that it's like one more and I'm gonna whatever. Because Ricochet is controlled. He knows how to control it. And Ocean Spray doesn't. I've said before. And I'm not saying because I don't like the guy. You can see it. Like, watch a match when the two of them, there are a couple matches when you see the two of them wrestle each other. Yep. And it's, you can tell. There's a huge difference. Huge difference.
Yeah. Willis says that Will versus Kenny was the best match of the year.
No.
I don't know. I just don't have time for those guys, if I'm being honest.
Willis, what are you smoking? Are you kidding me? Willis, come on now, dude. That was not the match of the year. I don't think that we've seen the match of the year yet. I don't. Mm,
I don't know.
I don't
Sammy
think so.
versus Roman was pretty good.
Well, that was pretty good. But I don't think we have yet because there's still more to come. Okay. We just cleared out half the year. And I think that there's more to come. And there's some bigger stages happening. So for a lot of people. So I think that there's more to come. So if you thought this was it, dude, you just shot your load way too early. It's not.
I do feel like, I don't know what it's going to be, but I feel like there's going to be something real great come out of Wembley when they do that. I think people are going to show up Wembley.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Wembley's going to have something great. And I don't know why I feel that SummerSlam this year.
I feel like something's brewing for SummerSlam too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's true.
Yeah, I just hope with like NXT, because do they usually do a takeover SummerSlam time?
Yeah, they tried to do the takeovers for the big ones.
Yeah,
but they started doing them a little separate, so it's a little hard to say.
Yeah, but I hope that they don't shoot themselves in the foot like they did for Mania, because that
blow the wind out of his head.
And, yeah, it was bad. I mean, I wouldn't have paid that kind of money at all, and that's kind of sad. But it's what it is. It's not my company. I don't, I just watch it every once in a while. So, but I will say
I did watch. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say the weird match I thought was Phil and Kojima.
Yeah.
I'm like, really? You're going to have him wrestle an old guy?
Yeah.
An older guy. I mean, if you're going to have, in a tournament, my thing is, who he should have wrestled?
Huh.
Murder Grandpa.
That could have been neat.
And I loved the chant he got. Because and then he just was so happy when he heard that. He had this smile, this scary smile on his face. And I'm like, that's scary. That is so scary. But he's embraced it.
Yeah. He's great.
I know where that came from.
But he also is like, I feel bad because I heard some people talking about how they weren't that familiar with him and they've seen him basically in all of what he's done with AEW and they weren't that impressed with him. And I was like, yeah, I can't even argue that because I feel like every time I see him in AEW, whatever that thing is in AEW is not that good. But then you see them do stuff in GCW and Bloodsport and you just see all this other stuff and you go, oh no, this dude is sick. Like,
this guy is crazy. And it's like, why? It's like, I feel like when they did that chant, I'm like, he's not been Murder Grandpa on AEW. Excuse me. No,
yeah, that's true.
No. If you want to see Murder Grandpa, there's some New Japan ones that you can share. Didn't he, Bloodsport, didn't he face Barnett? No? I don't remember.
I think when I saw him at Bloodsport, it was it Dickens? Chris Dickens?
Oh, Chris Dickinson. Oh, Jesus Christ. That alone. Chris Dickinson. Minoru Suzuki. Holy hell. Because Dickinson's one of those ones that he was like, hit him as hard as you can because he'll hit you as hard as he can. Like, that's what he thrives on. And that's where one of my favorite Dickinson matches was him and Will Hobbs when Will broke his hand at West Coast Pro. That was like, amazing. Because just the back and forth, when you get these two big guys that are really strong and can punch. But, I didn't watch the 4-way with Orange Cassidy and Zack Sabre Jr. I didn't watch it. And why didn't I watch it? Well, part of me was, as much as I love Zack Sabre Jr., I'm like, we all know how this is going to end. Mm-hmm. I don't want to watch that.
So, Kevlar.
Mm-hmm.
Sent me a message that I'm going to pull up.
Okay.
About that match because he was watching it. Where did it go? There it is. I'm watching Forbidden Door with, and he names one of his kids, and he goes, and he said, And he goes, I'm watching Forbidden Door with my kid. And he said, this is a comedy show. He goes, this Fatal 4-Way is the worst match I've ever seen. I'm losing brain cells watching Orange Cassidy. He goes, my kid's 9 and he recognized it, unlike all these AEW marks that stand by it. Yeah, he was watching it with his kid. His kid's 9. He's watching the Fatal 4-Way and he's like, it's a comedy show. This isn't wrestling. Yeah, what is this?
Yeah.
This is parody.
Yeah.
Kuro's coming through. Kuro says, I'm not late, you are. It's probably true.
Probably. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know why you would try to watch that match.
Well, I would only watch it because I love Zack Sabre Jr. But honestly, I'm like, no. I'm like, I can't bring myself to do it because I'm like, let's be real. Like, Zack Sabre Jr. could freaking break Orange Cassidy in 2 with his legs, in 2 movements. And yeah, I just can't.
The more people I see, it's funny because what people I listen to have podcasts and stuff, they'll be very critical of Orange Cassidy and talk about how they don't get it. They think the guy doesn't seem to care, that it's just a bunch of comedy. They'll say these things, and then all of a sudden, they'll do this thing where they're like, oh, I get it now. And then around that same exact time, you see them getting into business with people in AEW. And it's almost like this rite of passage that if Tony Khan's going to work with you, you have to put over Orange Cassidy. You know what I mean? Like, it's this thing. You can't just not like him. You can't just say it's not for me. You have to go out of your way and put it over. Kira says Marsh is clean. Amanda audio sounds like a blender at a bar. Yeah. I mean, she's coming in and out a little bit. She's like a bounty hunter, like in Star Wars.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my normal way of speaking, because I'm on this stupid headset because March was hearing himself before we came on. Yeah. So my fault. Take a drink.
Technical difficulties. Drink. Willis does say Marty Scroll in London. I'm guessing he's talking about Wembley.
Marty Scroll will not be in London. No, he won't be. You know why? Okay. Because Marty Scurll is going to be in your neck of the woods that weekend. So how is he going to be in London?
That's the same weekend?
How? Yes, sir.
When's the Wembley show?
The 27th?
Wembley is August 27th. Yeah, he's in Phoenix on the 26th. I saw that get booked. I told you about it. There's no way he'd be able to do that and make it. The flight's too long.
Unless Marty and I go on Tony Khan's private jet.
Yeah, you'd have to get a charter something crazy, and he'd have to be waiting for the main event. That's just too long of a flight.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
He's not like Elton John, who, remember back in the day, Live Aid, Elton John played both shows. He started at Wembley and then went over. So, yeah.
But that was to New York, wasn't it?
Yeah. No, Philadelphia.
Philadelphia? Yeah, it's still East Coast. Going from basically, I mean, we're just an hour away from LA. I mean, you're talking West Coast to Wembley. That is not a short flight, no matter how you cut it.
That is not. No, that's why we need Tony Khan's jet. And notice I inserted myself into that conversation.
Yeah.
Because if you're wondering if I'm going, duh. This is the closest he's been to me since he's been wrestling again. And I'm bummed that Marsh has another engagement because you would be with Party. Well, I hope he would. He's not going to be Party Marty, but he could have been with Marty and me, living it up. So I'm excited about that because, like I said, I haven't seen him in forever, and there'll be shenanigans. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, I got a wedding. I'm not gonna be able to go, but it'd have been cool. Yeah. O2. Yeah. Oh, is that where they're doing it? Kira said he's gonna join me at O2. I'm not gonna be there. I know. Wait, why is Nick Hausman said he was like in London? Why is he there? Is something going on in London this weekend?
No.
I'm so confused by everything. All right. Well.
What? I don't know.
Oh wait! Money in the Bank. Money in the Bank's in the UK. That's this weekend.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Wow, they're really doing a lot of international things this year.
Yeah, they're going everywhere but America. Wrestling's
Saudi.
worldwide.
Saudi.
Yeah.
Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Well, technically, Puerto Rico is the United States, technically.
Yeah, I'm bummed because like the last year they did Money in the Bank was in Vegas, and so on my birthday they were doing a SmackDown in Phoenix because it was right before the Vegas, so I was able to go to that. And yeah, usually they're in around Arizona around this time of year because it is my birthday time of year that I know that I'm going to shows with them every year, and I'm like, this is so great. But like this year, it's like, nope, we're in London. I was like, well, I'm not flying to London, so
They're like, sorry, dude. Sorry, dude. Sorry, dude.
yeah.
Yeah. You know.
But-
So Willis, you've got great intention. It's just not today, pal.
Yeah,
Not today.
not your day.
But if
But,
you get a tweet that I'm in jolly old England, then you know it's happening. But
then you
I
know what's
doubt
going on.
it. Yeah. I doubt it.
I also watched Tony Storm and Willow Nightingale. Good match. I think Saraya and Ruby are taking away too much. That actually kind of buried Willow a little bit, but I think that the bell to bell and everything was fine. I just think that they could. I think the Outcasts could do a little bit less to take. They're taking too much shine away from Willow to the point where they get thrown out from ringside, so that way Tony can just beat Willow clean. And it's like, if you're gonna do the thing, at least do it at the end and give Willow an out. But this was like, you did it just to take away the spotlight, and that was unnecessary. But the match itself was good, and I think Tony and Willow work well together.
Was a good match. Yeah, I like that. I mean, it's rare that you see a lot of these women work really well together, and that one I think was great. Do I like this Outcast thing? No, I'm not a fan of it. It's just, it's too much. I think whenever they do, I don't remember when they're doing it because they obviously didn't do it yesterday on Dynamite. When they do Ruby Soho versus Britt Baker, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, whatever. But because she was sick. But I don't, I hope that, like Tony and Saraya aren't there, because Ruby Soho she can wrestle. She can hold her own. So it's kind of interesting to me to see her with Britt. I think they did it before. So, but to see now, because I don't think Britt's progressed. Ruby Soho, at least, is getting more time. Granted, I think she should be wrestling more. That's just me. But yeah. And Willow, I love Willow. She's the best. But there was no need for her to not get any shine in there. There was no need for that to not happen. And I hope there's number 2 and you get the other belt on the line, Willow's belt, and then see what happens with that. That would be exciting to see. Don't you think?
I do. I think that I'm really curious how NJPW is going to handle the belt that's on Willow, because she's not like signed with them. So
no, but she's going to Japan though.
Yeah, she's going to do stuff with them. So I think it's kind of cool. But the other thing I was going to say that you brought up was the whole Ruby Britt thing. That was something that, again, pissed me off about commentary. They spent a good chunk of Tony and Willow's match talking about Ruby and Britt going to have a match. And Britt Baker's this. Is Britt going to win the tournament again? Britt's done this. And I was like, why the fuck are you talking about Britt? She's not even out there. Like, drop it. And then when Tony wins, they're all on the ramp. And they're like, Tony Storm, still the champion, flanked by, it wouldn't use the word like flanked because they're not, they don't know those words, but like flanked by Saraya and Ruby, and they're like, Ruby Soho gonna have that match with Britt coming up, we're gonna have a Britt and Ruby, and I was like, shut the fuck up about Britt. Like, it was really annoying, the commentary. I
think Shivani was still on commentary. We all know he loves himself some Britt Baker, and it's like, come on, dude, quit being annoying. Like, we don't care. If she was that good, she would have had a match on, Forbidden Door. But she didn't. Nope,
yeah.
She did not. Yeah, she did not. So.
Kuro said some weird stuff about Canada. He said the AEW Edmonton show on July 5th for Dynamite is right after Canada Day weekend, right after everyone's been out drunk for a 4-day weekend and is broke, and is also at the start of festival season. And then says the Calgary Collision AEW show is the same weekend as Calgary's largest comic and anime expo. AEW tickets are $100. Comic Expo tickets are $35. AEW planned poorly. Well,
You know, they have a Canadian. They have 2 Canadians, or they have a couple of Canadians over there. So they could have given some advice, but, you know, Tony doesn't listen.
well,
You know,
plus
that's
it's
what
probably not
happens.
their
It's
job.
God's plan. Yeah, it's
God's
God's plan. Willis is
let's
probably
see.
sitting there just hating me right now.
Oh, yeah.
I can't wait
Oh,
to
yeah.
see what he says. He's like,
I have been keeping up with Impact, and I do think, was it Trinpack is what her hashtag's been, Trinity over there. I think she's been doing a great job.
oh, she
I
has.
didn't really care for the intergender match. I didn't need it. It's fine. They did a good job with it, but I just wasn't. I just didn't care for the story of it. I was like, all right, well.
Oh, yeah.
But it does look like Trinity's working with who she wants to work with and doing a good job with all that, and she's telling a good story.
Yeah.
She's doing really good on the mic too. So,
oh yeah.
she's been a big highlight.
I was gonna say, I'm excited to see Impact the Down Under tour, because reason why I'm saying this is because there is a match on here in particular that I'm very excited about, and I got cheated out because of COVID. When they had when ROH, it was like right in March before everything shut down. ROH was still, oh yeah, we're gonna do the show. So I already had flown to Vegas. Guess what? I get there and whatnot, checked in, and like, oh yeah, we're canceling the show. I was pissed.
Oh yeah, I remember when that happened.
But there is a match. The one I was dying to see was Flex and Adam Brooks, 2 of Australia's finest. And they're actually doing this match on the Down Under tour. It's actually tomorrow. So I'm excited to see that. Because I think it's a pretty good card. I mean, they've got... I'm interested to see Steph DeLander and Deanna. Steph DeLander's been everywhere. You know, that's something I look forward to. I look forward to believing in Joe Hendry. And
are you going to the Down Under tour?
That's in Australia. How would I get there? It's on TV.
Okay, because you're talking about it like you're gonna go. I was like, Jesus.
No! Oh no! If you thought that going to Wembley was hard, you know, try going to Australia to see this tomorrow.
No, because everything in Australia is trying to eat you. Kiro does say at Slammiversary for the X Division title is going to be Leo Rush versus Sabin. Is that right?
Yes, that's going to be beautiful.
That sounds cool.
That's going to be beautiful. Slammiversary, actually, I will say, I'm really excited about. Actually, to be honest with you, these 2 events, pretty awesome.
There's a lot of stacked.
I mean, there's a lot stacked. I mean, I'm looking at it right now.
I'm just really glad that Bully Ray's having that match so I can go to the bathroom at some point during the show.
There you go. But I'm really interested to see. I'm interested to see Aldous and Shelley. Honestly, like really, for real. Like.
Oh, by the way, Flip Gordon's going to be in Tucson or Phoenix. I think it's Tucson in the next like 2 weeks or so. He's out here a lot. So there's a really good chance at the show in August that he's probably there too, because he's out here a lot.
I hope so. Because
so you might see him too.
Yeah, I hope so. I love Flip. Flip is amazing. I love him. Yeah, he needs a job. Mark, got fired. Those are great times. But definitely. Yeah, I'm thinking that this is going to be some good stuff. So I'm hoping that Trinity takes the belt off Deanna.
I really want her to take the championship. Yeah,
I know. I do. I don't want Nick Aldis to win. Not because Nick Aldis, but it's more of like you need to be put in your place a little, because you were at the top of something for the longest time.
So there's there was all these. Well, for one, that would be nice. But two, there's all these rumors going around about Drew McIntyre not coming to terms with his contract with WWE, and now there's the thought is, oh, is he going to show up at Money in the Bank UK? Is that going to be a big return? And I'm like, I don't kind of care if it is. I don't know where he fits. And although the theory of him coming back as a heel, I'm okay with, because I've been saying for a long time, he's a heel in a babyface body, not physically, but presentation. But he's so easy to boo that I think that it would be cool to see him as a heel. But I was hearing people talk about, if he's done with WWE, where should he go? And a number of people said they thought he'd do really well in Impact. And it kind of made me laugh a little bit, because I was like, yeah. But people, are just not excited about people going to AEW at this point, just because of how they handle everybody. But B, my first thought is like, can you imagine Nick Aldis and Drew McIntyre in a program in Impact?
Oh yeah,
I think that would be really good, but it would also be kind of funny, those two egos clashing a little bit, and who's going to actually win. You know what I mean? Like, I think they both are capable of doing business. I'm not saying that, but I think they both vie for themselves a lot. And so having two guys with that stature on the same roster, it would be like, okay, this could be interesting, you know?
Yeah. You know what I would love to see, but this is not going to happen at all. And if it does happen, Scott D'Amore, you owe me some money. I would love to see if Aldis were to win the belt, not necessarily this time with Shelley. If he were to win the belt, I want to see the match that we didn't get because of pandemic. I wanted to see Aldis Scroll too.
Yeah, maybe a good match.
And I think that this time, well, you know, I mean, let's be real. If that were to happen, we all know Marty would have won. Because he couldn't give himself, he was not the kind of person when he was the booker to give himself the title. So, and they had that working relationship. So I totally see that Marty would have gotten that belt. And I'd been so excited.
For sure.
Yeah, because I would have been there in the front row. I'm just saying.
Churro says Darren McCarty's a special guest referee and enforcer for the Bully Ray Macklin PCO Scott D'Amore match. Dude, more reasons to not give a shit. This is going to be a mess. It's going to be a fucking mess.
He was on Detroit
He's a
Red
hockey
Wings.
player. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, there you go. He's on the Detroit Red Wings. Okay.
Hey, by the way, for anyone who watched it, it says book it. Talking about the other match. For anyone who was watching just now, you can literally watch and hear me Google who Darren McCarty is, and Amanda just knew.
I knew.
That's our levels of hockey.
That was my back in the day hockey. Oh my god, dude. Because if I'm not mistaken, I've seen him getting some pretty wicked fights this day. Man, those hockey fights aren't the same anymore. And if he's still doing it, which I don't know, like another hockey player, Brandon Shanahan, he used the freaking one of those, instigators and shit. And you're the one telling him, no, you're ruling like what people can do and can't do. Dude. Just saying.
It looks like he debuted in Impact in April.
Really? Huh. Interesting. I'm going to have to go look that up because I know exactly who he is. Won a Stanley Cup or two.
Oh my god. The reason I don't care or haven't been noticing is just because Bully Ray. He's involved in all this Bully Ray stuff.
Yeah, hey, Bully Ray. Yeah.
It's so crazy to me how Bully has gone from being like a legitimate heel to being one of the phoniest fuckers in the business on the show. On a show full of people who have like a college level acting chops or high school. And then Bully comes out phonier than them. You have a show that had a transportation into the Dark Souls the other month. The women, the Coven. Was it the Coven? I don't know everyone's name. They all have these witchy names. But there was those two little witchy ladies. And then the one goes in with the creepy witch dude. And he's like, let me take you into the underworld.
Oh, that was Death Dolls.
The Death Dolls, yes. And then, so you have that happen on the show, and then Bully Ray comes out later, and I believe him less. He's so full of shit. Just his ability to be convincing is not there. And then he's going one-on-one on the mic with Scott D'Amore, and you're like, who's this for? Why are we doing this? This is awful. So I have no desire to. I got nothing to put
Well,
over.
I will say
Bully.
this: when he was influencing the book at Ring of Honor, yeah, it was very self-serving. I felt so bad for Flip Gordon at that time. I did.
Yeah.
And, and it culminated to, yes, I'm still upset, Bully Ray. If any of you guys are fans of his and you want to tell him and go tattle, you can tell him I'm still pissed that he fucking hurt my fucking knee. I had the scar for a long time. I don't anymore. But
No.
you also took away from me watching Roosh take the title off of Matt Taven. I will never forget that. That made me so angry. So angry.
Yeah.
But
Well, it
anyways.
says hashtag never forget. Kiro
Yep.
does say Mike Bailey, Gresham, Kushida, Kevin Knight, and Angels in Ultimate X match at Slammiversary. That'll be a crazy match.
Yeah.
That'd be nuts.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
They're all good at going all over the place. So.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You also told me one other thing that I want to make sure we at least talk about. You said Fatu won the MLW championship. I was looking up MLW stuff. My website that I use to watch every wrestling thing has been failing me. I couldn't find the ROH match you were telling me to. I could not find anything from MLW in the last month, and I couldn't find anything from GCW in the past year because I was going to try and look up the Zack Sabre Jr. Nick Gage match.
I don't even know which one. Well, offline you can tell me which one you look at because I have another one if it's not the same one because the one I had has everything. So
yeah, you're gonna need to send me a new one because I've been using the one that you sent me initially a while back, but like the last thing it has for GCW is October 23rd, 2022.
Yeah, actually, let me check it out right now. While I'm checking this out, you know who's back? Johnny TV.
Johnny TV. What a stupid name they gave him.
Well, I know.
Why
I
would
thought
you
that was dumb. But you know what I really want, and I hope this happens, is I would love for them to do have intergender tag titles, and I want him and Taya to go back together, just like they were doing in goddamn fucking Lucha Underground. That would be magical.
Put them together.
I like that.
Just let them do something.
I don't like what they're doing with her. I don't know what was worse, Frankie Monet or this, but I can tell you that it's very disappointing to me.
Yeah, something's off. Something's off.
Yeah. Oh yeah, this one that I looked at.
Kiro says Zach Wentz is back in Impact.
Good. Good. I'm glad.
He got a shit deal.
And he did get shit deal. Fuck you, Kimberly Lee. Fuck you. No. But I'm glad he is. Okay, so this one has all the Impact. It's got all the WWE, but who cares because we get that for free if you have Peacock. MLW. Let me check.
Last thing I have from MLW on this one is from 5/2/23.
Yeah, that's really weird.
Yep.
I think this might be the same one, but that's really odd. But they update Ring of Honor and GCW. If you want to see that, I can give you my fight password.
My fight. All right.
Yeah. You should see Gage and Zack Sabre Jr.
Yeah, I want to see that one.
Yeah.
But you said that Fatu won the MLW title back, so that would have had to have been Fatu and Hammerstone, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I was like, this is fucking great. I mean, I wish I could see
that can't be right. That's just not right.
No, because I saw him with the belt. On Twitter.
No, you're looking at something wrong.
Happened.
No, because I'm on MLW.com and it says that in Philly at the 2300 Arena on July 8th, Hammerstone champion against Alex Kane, who was the winner of that big battle royal thing. You're looking at old stuff.
I must be looking at old stuff. Sorry.
Yeah.
Wait, no.
Hammerstone's still a champ.
That's July 8th with Alex Kane. Okay, so maybe I don't know. Maybe
it hasn't come up yet.
Oh my God!
Also, Sam Adonis versus Mance Warner.
Manser? Yeah, that's a good one. I'm gonna enjoy that one a lot. Yeah. Now this is one guy. As I scroll down, man, they need to bring more Willie Mack back into ROH.
Jacob Fatu is the national openweight title. Not the heavyweight title. And so he's going to be taking on Calvin Tankman, who looks big.
Calvin Tankman, oh my God, he is. Willis and I went to a show, West Coast Pro recently, and Tankman was there. I guess some dude named Beef. I don't know.
Yeah.
Willis kept calling him Meat, and I'm like, same thing. But
Yeah.
it's this big freaking white guy, and then Tankman, and it was just holy crap. Like they did some kind of slam on the ring. I saw the ring lift up, and boom. I'm like, holy crap. Yeah, that's something. That is definitely something. But yeah, I'll have to look up and see if I can find a stream of this next Saturday. Wait, I'm going to wrestling next Saturday. Shit. But I'm gonna see if there's a stream I can find. But yeah, no, but GCW, I'll let you use mine. So,
sounds good. Sounds good.
sharing is caring, folks. Sharing is caring.
Kiro says, I don't think Jacob Fatu is going to be making that match after what came out today. What came out today?
Uh-oh. What came out
Someone
today?
look on Twitter. I'm gonna let Kiro take over the show. You want me to send you a link?
Yeah, Kiro, take over the show. You just derailed. You just derailed us, Kiro. But that's what we want people to do, is derail us. And I'm actually shocked that Willis didn't say anything. Maybe Willis doesn't know. Let's see here.
I'm seeing if anything's trending. I'm not seeing him trending at all. So
hold on. Let me see this.
yeah.
He is one of the trainers at Juicy Finale's promotion, Oasis Pro. Let me see here.
There's a little thing. Jacob Fatu scams a local charity.
What? Let me see.
Let's see. Associated with the nonprofit. Is this what I'm guessing? That's what he's talking about. He no-showed a charity event, got the money, and then disappeared. Let's see. A few months ago, our charity, along with local wrestlers, put on a wrestling show. One of the wrestlers hired was Jacob Fatu. Unfortunately, on the day of the event, he no-showed it. Jake's was told by Mr. Fatu that it was a family emergency. However, it was later discovered that was a lie. And after further investigation, it was found out that he had also done this to multiple organizations, not other charities, as far as we know. Fatu has since failed to pay back the charity of what he took at the event. Let's see. I don't post a lot on Reddit. There's a local news story on a YouTube. Doing something because I'm a massive fan of wrestling. Also things have charity. Side note, Vampiro was at the event and cut a promo for Jake's. The dude is a class act and just super nice to you. Billy Gunn was also there. Tatanko hit on my fiance. I can't be mad at that.
You know, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
I'll say this much. I don't think this is going to have... Oh, there's the Anu that you were talking about. Man, National Openweight Champion. Mm-hmm. That was on Fusion. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So he did win that title today. Oh, well, that's cool. Let me check out some new cards. Jacob Fatu's got some signed cards out there.
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh, this is good. I think it takes more than one Reddit post to find out what's actually going on with the story. So I guess we'll see how that plays out now. So I don't think it's going to impact his MLW booking, if I'm being honest.
No. And honestly, people like this is exactly why that speaking out thing was stupid. God forbid somebody do something bad and everybody jumps and like, oh no, they're evil. And it's like, yo, you need to look in your life. You know, are you perfect? No. There's skeletons in everybody's closet. Everybody. I know a lot of people.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm not saying people ought to be stealing from charities or nothing, but it just seems like there's more to the story. And so I don't know.
Yeah. I think so too. But yeah. But then again, I don't know. But has he no-showed events before? That I don't know. Can't tell you. But what I can tell you is the fact that, there are a lot of other people that people like that have no-showed events and not given the money back. It doesn't matter if it's charity or whatever. Yeah, I can name a lot of people. And some of them might be some of your favorites people. So, yeah, don't believe the hype.
Yeah, I've yeah, it's just it doesn't sound like this isn't a one-time thing since he took the booking fee.
Now I'm waiting for Thunder Rosa to finally end up on Collision because we saw Miro already, kinda, but not really.
Oh yeah.
So I'm waiting. Yeah, I'm waiting for Thunder Rosa because
She hasn't shown up yet?
I still no, not yet.
That's fucked up.
I still feel that she got a fucking bad deal in that stupid reality show, and I don't think that's right. I really don't.
Yeah.
I'm like, honestly, it's like, sorry, Britt Baker, that Thunder Rosa actually can wrestle and you can't.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw the two of them when Britt Baker was just barely like she was at it was a shoe event. No, it was something else. It was Rise, and Thunder Rosa was on the card too, and a lot of people. Alley Catch was on there. God, there were so many people. I think Maddie Winkowski wasn't on there, but I'm like, dude, the women's wrestling, actually in life, it's very small, it's small communities. Wrestling, yeah, it's actually kind of incestual. Yeah. So it's like, when you're a bitch, people know it. No matter how much you try to, make someone look really good, at the end of the day, you're still a bitch. And that's the thing with Tessa Blanchard. People, I would kill to see her coming back somewhere. She needs to, honestly. She does. And
she's been popping up in places, and she just re-released one of her old shirts. She's been doing some wrestling shows, and she's been posting a lot too, and she's as jacked as ever.
Oh, I know. I really want to see her wrestle in Mercedes. I would love to see her and Mercedes go.
That would
Mercedes
be cool.
is, well, that'd be a great one. Not necessarily Trinity, but Mercedes would be a great one. And I also think that
I wouldn't have a problem with either, but I agree that Mercedes is the money match.
Yeah. And I'll say I'd even love to see God, I would love to see her even with Thunder.
Yeah.
That'd be some good stuff. And because I was going to say when the first time I ever saw Tessa Blanchard, she wrestled Jessica Havoc. And boy, this was really early in Tessa's career and kind of early in Havoc's career. And man, that was such a great match, the two of them. And I was like, that was the first time I've ever seen them wrestle. And I was so impressed. It was WrestleCon San Jose. It was magical. That whole super show was magical. I mean, you had Sabu and RVD versus the Hardys in the ladders tables match. That's badass shit.
Willa says Rose is better. Britt is trash. Kiro's saying that Nonprofit said something. NBC's reporting that Legend Fat 2 ghosted another company. The thing is, that's just such a one-sided. There's not a lot there.
Yeah.
It kind of also reminds me, for one, like you said, that happens a lot more than you think with a lot more people than you think. So this is picking on Fat 2 for some reason. And you don't know the whole thing. It was it kind of reminds me. We'll see where it all goes. But there was a while. I remember everyone was talking. That Jerry Lawler was scamming a bunch of people, and it turned out to be that his podcast partner was scamming people under Jerry's name. So you just don't know yet. So it's a little quick to say oh my God, this happened. Like Fat 2, even if he did walk away from a thing, it's the only time that's ever happened. And I like how they're saying Vampiro's a class act after what we do know about Vampiro. I'm not saying I don't like the guy, but we know a lot of dirt on that guy as far as his business practices go. So it's kind of funny. But you don't know. We just don't know. So,
and then also I want to add in there too, not just wrestlers, but some of your fans. God, there's been so many different scammers and whatnot, and people who are they play holier than thou, and they're the worst people. They are the worst people, and it just makes me sick. But again, you don't know, and I've seen Fatu for a very, very long time, and I can't say, oh yeah, he did it. I can't say he did, he did do it. But I think because island people are a certain way, and that's not how island people roll. And you can see that with like the Usos and Roman and all those, that whole thing. That's not how that shit rolls.
Yeah, and that's what I was also kind of wondering. I mean, I wonder if it's the idea of like, oh, it's Jacob, so we want to say all this stuff because they know his family. You know what I mean? Like, are they going to do the same thing if, like, let's just, not that it's true, but let's say Janela ghosted a couple places too. Are people going to go after him in the media? Probably not, because it's Janela, and who's he connected to?
No, they
you know
would.
What I mean? I'm saying,
they'd
but
go after
probably
him just
not.
because it's, yeah. But
you'd have some little
just to
dirt
fuck
sheets
with him.
try and go nuts with it. But is NBC going to cover it? No. But why would NBC cover Jacob Fatu? Because of who his family is. You know what I mean? Like, they're just trying to get a bigger story because of who he's related to.
I think they're trying to boost that charity. So it's almost like you're saying someone's scamming, but in a sense, you're scamming yourself, or you're scamming for sympathy. And that's a little, I don't know. That's a little sketch to me. But,
Yeah. And it's not like he's not a prominent person. You know what I mean? Like, he's visible enough to where you would be like, you know what I mean? Like, just a lot of it doesn't make sense to say like, hey, this one Reddit post has to be the end all be all of truth. I don't know yet. We'll see how it all goes out. We just don't know.
Here's a famous person who dipped out on a lot of shit. Fucking MJF. Okay. You explain why he's not being thrown under a bus when he, because it is true. He skips autograph signings. He gets paid a fee, and I'm sure he doesn't give it back.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if there's any wrestling when he was on the indies that he did that with, but I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, this is what it is. There's a lot of guys who would, like, if, for example, if they were got on PWG, one of those shows, there are a lot of guys who would like totally just say, you know what, can't do it, right? And just like leave whatever promotion in the dust because they want to do PWG. It's shitty, but it happens. I've seen it with even other promotions. I've seen it with Defy. I've seen it with, I don't think I've seen it with West Coast Pro, but I will say that I know Prestige has had a couple of those, especially Malachi Black. I'm still bitter about that one. Yeah. I could have met him. That's the only one. Oh, well.
Oh, yeah.
Case Ross wrong. But it's going to be interesting. This summer is going to have some pretty big events, and it'll be very interesting to see. SummerSlam, All In.
Yeah.
I think they're doing All Out. That they shouldn't do it that close. It's literally the next weekend.
Yeah, it looks like they're doing it, and I still don't think they've announced where you're going to be able to actually watch the Wembley show, like where it's going to stream from. I don't think that's been even announced yet. So I mean, we'll see. They got a month. Yeah, they got a month and a half to figure it out. So, but yeah, I don't know. Was there anything else that you wanted to touch on?
In the wrestling world, it's been, it's just been okay. I think that there's, some people who it's questionable, like this Owen Hart tournament. It's kind of, I think what they're doing and how they're planting the seed, and I think the seed is to get Punk as one of the finalists.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be, it'll probably be the next round. It'll probably be Starks and Hobbs. And of those two, that's a toss-up.
I say you go Starks, and then you get Punk Starks, but I think Punk takes it after going. I think it's going to end with Punk and Joe, and then Punk takes it, and it's this whole thing. And it's just like I'm destined for it because I'm basically Owen Hart now, and you're like, fuck off, like he's so full of himself. Like I wouldn't be surprised if he came back with I want to win the fucking Owen Hart tournament so he can carry that shit around. But
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if they put together T-shirts of Punk and Owen Hart back to back. You know what I mean? Like the way that they're going about was tough, and that money's going to Punk. Like,
well, that's what we did touch on was Samoa Joe. So in that match that they had, and Samoa Joe and everyone wanted those two to get in the ring, and when it did, it was a little magical. I'm not gonna lie.
Right. So do a story. Don't do a fucking tournament.
Yeah, I know. And it's more like I would rather see Punk and Joe for the ROH television title, to be quite honest. If you're going to win anything, that's the way to go.
Yeah, do that.
But don't do it on ROH, because that's the only place that Cole Cabana is allowed to wrestle, unless they move him or whatever. Yeah, I don't know. But I think he's done. And I it's not fair, but, is what it is. It's God's plan.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't think you should do it in a tournament thing. I do think Punk's gonna win it. I think also I've been kind of noticing across the board, AEW, WWE, NXT, all of them, it feels like wrestling is so hot right now, but a lot of the stories are so lacking. It's almost like when the business was kind of cooling off, like there was a lot of fervor to be good. And now it feels like there's a comfortability where everything is so hot that it doesn't matter if we're a little bad, the fans are still going to love it. And so I don't feel like you're seeing as much effort into a overall quality of all things. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like on both sides. No. Like I watched some of AEW and I go, this is just trash. I'm watching chunks of WWE and I'm going like, this doesn't even make sense. Like, what are we doing? Yeah. But you also hear the crowd reactions of both of them. You're like, well, the crowds are eating it up. And to be honest, if I was in the audience too, I would too. We've been going to arena football a lot lately. I barely even know the rules and I'm going nuts because like there's energy there, right? Course. And I feel like the energy around the wrestling business right now is carrying the wrestling business to bigger heights, while the super nerds like us who kind of like dig in a little bit to the stories and get into the characters and this story arc going this way, and we like it when it makes sense because you're like, oh my god, it connects. We're being a little bit left behind because you're like, I'm having to do all the legwork of making it make sense. Yeah. You know what I mean? Now, stories. Okay, I don't know why we didn't touch on this one. So, Jack Perry's a heel now. What do you mean you don't know why we don't touch on that? Because Jack Perry is bullshit. All of his promos suck. I know. He's not that good. Okay, I know. But the Luke Perry fangirl in me, when he came out, did his promo, and he was like wearing a jacket that looks like one of his dad's. He was looking like Dylan McKay. And brown leather on purpose, I was teary-eyed, okay? Rest in peace, Luke Perry. But, honestly, that was nostalgia for me. Okay, and it hit hard. As soon as I saw the picture of him in the brown leather jacket, and I was like, oh, look at this ass. And his Dylan jacket. Like, I didn't even have to think about it for 2 seconds. Okay. Dylan always had brown leather. He did always have brown leather. And he always had, like, sunglasses kind of like that, too. So I was like, great homage to your dad. I love it. Love it. But Dylan wasn't even a heel on the show. Yes, he was. I mean, he was the bad boy. There were sometimes heel. No. When he returned, okay, after like my favorite episode when he drove away on his motorcycle. Oh my god, I'm gonna cry. Hold on. It gets me every time. It's the one where he got married to Antonia and they were looking for the cat and she was driving his car and he got all shut up because they thought it was Dylan and no, it was the mobster's daughter. Anyway, when he returned, he was a heel. He definitely was a heel. And it wasn't because, he's a bad boy. No, he was a fucking asshole. I will go back and watch Now to 210 happily. Actually, I did that during the pandemic. I watched the whole thing from one day. Yeah, all the way. Kiro says, I cash fat checks and bang the hottest chick in this place. Because that's what Jungle Boy said. But I just think that you don't have to bring up Britt Baker so much. Like, can we just do promos without her?
that line is very subjective because, you know, I mean, who you're banging the hottest chick, someone could think that Nyla Rose is the hottest chick. Or Marina, like Roddy thinks Marina Shafir's the hottest chick,
Yeah, probably.
Sammy's gonna say Kay, I would say Ricky's ass is the hottest chick.
And then Tony Khan walks out and he goes, "And I am too." And you're all like, "Oh, man.
Oh yeah. We didn't need to know that, Tommy. But you're right. There are no storylines. Even New Japan doesn't really have storylines.
That was the biggest bummer about the Forbidden Door.
Yeah.
The concept of the Forbidden Door pay-per-view is cool. It's just fucking cool. And I just think it would be nice if there was some effort to make it also feel like it means something other than participation ribbons. Because this felt like the main event was Daniel Bryan versus Okada. Because it's just a match Daniel Bryan's wanted for a long time, and now he can have it.
Yeah.
That's the story. And the story was told in one promo one time. And that was your main event, meaning this is the most important match on the entire card. And it had no story. It was, you guys should be happy that I get to have a match with the guy I wanted to have a match with. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, what's different sentimentally between that match and the match Ricky Starks had with The Undertaker? You know what I mean? We know he trained with The Undertaker. And we know he had a match in a warehouse where nobody was. And that match is the biggest match of Ricky's career in a degree. It's sentimental, right? So what's different between that and this? Because both of them don't really have a story. Just kind of came about because it could. Because the stars align just right? And I'm just saying, if you're going to have the main event of a pay-per-view be this, you could have brought in Okada to be all like, I've been watching you and I can come pick on you now. Like, you could have done something. You know what I mean? And that's just my biggest problem with Forbidden Door is we've had 2 of them now, and both times they have some really cool matches that are really nice for those wrestlers to have, and we get to think it's cool to watch them do it. But at the same time, none of it begins and ends there. It's a one-off. You can watch it anytime, which is in a sense cool because it's timeless, but in another sense, kind of like it's just a tape. I mean, it's just like watching a tape of matches.
Yeah. Well, one of the matches I thought, well, 2 of them actually, that when you look at it on paper, you're like, damn, I want to see, they should have been on the main card. And the first one I'll say is El Phantasmo versus Stu Grayson. Because El Phantasmo, period.
God.
Everyone relax.
What the fuck?
Everybody just relax.
Oh, you shit yourself.
We're doing a show. It was for the show.
No.
I shit myself for the show. It's fine.
Oh, come on.
Ew. Oh my God. This is like,
What?
we're never going to get through episode 1.
What? It's just episode 1.
No.
Yeah, I know. We're never going to get to 2. God damn.
Well, I think we did just get to 2 in a way.
Oh God, no.
No.
Ew.
No.
Ew.
No.
In a way.
Gross.
In a way, we did just
Gross.
hit a 2.
No. That's all you. That's solo. You did it by yourself. No. Yeah. No. But they're saying El Phantasmo because I love El Phantasmo. And I'm sorry, but as much as I love Naito, okay, we got LIJ and United Empire. But you got fucking Daddy Shingo, Bushi, and Hiromu. 2 of those, actually, all 3 of those guys are very beloved by people in the United States. And of course, I love Jeff Cobb. I ain't gonna lie, that's my Ohana.
Yeah.
I don't like him being in United Empire, I'll tell you that. And then they had TJP. I'm like, for real, TJP likes underage, but anyways, again, those are 2 that I was like, why isn't that on there? Because I could have done, to be honest with you, I could have done without Punk and Kojima. To be honest,
For sure.
I could have done without it.
I also thought was funny is in that big clusterfuck match that had Sting and Jericho on opposite sides in those teams. I saw the clip where Jericho gets into the ring Like, make Suzuki get out, which is already bullshit. Because I'd rather see Suzuki and Sting. Make
Yeah.
Suzuki get out. Jericho gets in, and he stops and stares and looks out into the crowd like it's this big moment, and there's just like very little reaction. Everyone's kind of like, all right. Like, no one gives a shit that you two never wrestled.
Yeah.
No one's been clamoring for this. When Sting showed
No.
up, no one said, oh my God, he can finally face Jericho. No one gives a fuck, dude. No one wants to see the two of you wrestle. You're also a little too old to be wrestling one-on-one. So it's so weird. And then Sting
Yeah.
goes over and breaks his fucking face on a table. That whole thing was such a mess. Like, I think
yeah.
I think
But
Jericho's
I
a
will say
hypocrite, and
this.
Sting needs to retire, and probably Daniel Bryan
Yeah.
doesn't have a lot of days left.
Yeah.
That's what happens
I
when
will
I
say
watch
this.
AEW. What's up?
Okay. I will say this. The best moment in that match is when they did the sex gods or whatever. They did the pose of Sammy and Jericho, and then Murder Grandpa. It was like a totem pole. Went and did that too, and he had that smile, and I'm like, that is like fucking Kodak moment. But that was the only thing in the match I liked, because it was that. And as we all know, am I a little bit disappointed in Ocean Spray? Yeah, he should have lost. He was bleeding. Kenny Hammond.
But what'd you think about the match, realistically?
Realistically, if I take my complete hatred of Ocean Spray out of it, I'd say that Kenny Omega really kind of carried him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did. And that's why Kenny Omega is a star. Because he carried him. Definitely like Sonata and Dylan McKay 2.0. Sonata carried him. And it's bad when you have someone that has to carry you like that. And I think
it worked for Phil. Cena carried Phil through it the whole thing, and he made a career out of it.
Well, I know, but Cena's fucking the man.
Oh yeah, he's so good.
He's the man. He's the man. He's so good. He's got a great butt. Oh, I'm sorry. Anyways, but yeah, no, it's true. Tidy whities. Thank you for that Peacemaker Funko Pop. I just I'm curious because you can't see it. If he has a nice butt, I can't
on the
see
Funko.
It. No,
You can slide it out.
Yeah. I don't want to take it out of the thing.
Right.
I don't want to do that.
You.
I want Cena to sign it. I put a little peach on it. That'd be great.
Oh, that'd be good. Little wink.
Yeah. No wink. But I will say this.
Go ahead.
I will say this. It's going to be very interesting. What is going to happen again with Eddie Kingston and Mox? I'm a little bit interested in that. I really wish this Blackpool. I know. And I thought it was hilarious that a couple of weeks ago they were like, "Oh my God!" Eddie saved him from explosions. I'm like, do we not forget? Do we not remember what that explosion was?
It's crazy. And here's the thing: is because right now, Eddie's going up against Moxley, right? He was teaming with the Bucks. That was so stupid to me. Because we were just talking about it the last time we were talking on here at episode 1, right here in the dive bar. We were talking about whatever happened with Eddie Kingston storyline wise. He was partnering with Moxley. Moxley just disappears, or Eddie disappears, and Moxley joins the Combat Club. So I was like, what the fuck happened storyline wise? And so for him to come back and be all like, oh, I'm teaming with the Young Bucks now because I don't like you. It's kind of like, what the fuck?
Yeah. That just was
90% of his character at that point was that he was friends with Mox, and now it's this. And so I was like, all right. Now, I mean, it'll be cool that we'll have Moxley versus Kingston somewhere on a tape, but it's so weird.
I'm surprised they had Phil and Eddie in the same area.
I think a lot of it had to do with the pay-per-view. I'm saying before the next pay-per-view, we're going to get a much clearer vision of what Collision's supposed to look like. I think pay-per-view go-home shows mess up everything.
I don't think so. It's still the Phil Brooks show, and we just have to watch it. I mean, I don't think that it's doing anybody anything Sure didn't do anything for Will Hobbs last week because he faced a freaking, some jabroni from the area. That was dumb.
Mm.
I'm like, really? I'm like, come on now. Like, it's Will Hobbs. Feed him somebody. Feed him one of the dudes from the what is it? The embassy. Feed him one of those. Not Brian Keith, but one of the other two. Those big, like Samoan looking guys. Throw him with them. God damn it! I want to see him in Miro. Can we get him in Miro? That'd be beautiful. But now that another story that does not make sense, Christian Cage and Luchasaurus, and Christian Cage is the one carrying the TNT belt around like it's his. I don't understand that. That's stupid. And then Wardlow's out, going to be MIA now for a little bit. It's like, what the hell? We need some consistency. We also need the belt off of MJF. I'm sick of it.
Yeah, I could not care about him as a champion at all.
Yeah, I'm over it. I'm
over Adam Cole. Who should take the belt off MJF?
Well, the one that should have taken the belt off of MJF was Ricky.
But Ricky wouldn't. Yeah. I mean, maybe.
Well, back then, yes, when that promo and everything, he should have. But I think that if you bring Ricky back into it again, and you let them cut those fire promos, it would be.
Yeah, well, I'm just trying to think of what's next, right? Because the idea of Ricky being able to beat MJF makes sense, but then I'm like, what's next? Who have we been having MJF face? That Ricky could have also faced theoretically and had good promos with, and I think Ricky could have made it look like it was a star.
I think
he could have picked it up.
I think that Tony Khan dropped the ball with not having Ricky and Jay White with a live mic in the same ring. That's where it failed.
So, when do you think MJF will lose the title to Orange Cassidy? Wembley?
No. Mm-mm. Wembley, I think, is a crapshoot right now because there's going to be some New Japan people there. There's going to be random ass. Because I had to think in my head, who are the British people besides Zack Sabre Jr. that could be at the show?
Just been sitting.
Obviously, ew, what are you doing? Ew.
Nothing. I'm just sitting here, just hanging.
You're shitting your pants.
That's what I said. I'm just sitting here.
Oh my god! Holy crap! You're so professional. I know, and I know you guys missed us. You missed stuff like this. Come on now, be real. You guys, please tell us that you missed stuff like this.
I just got this sinking feeling that MJF's going to lose to Orange Cassidy, and then we're going to have Orange Cassidy title reign for a year.
Oh, God. No. At this point, I hate saying this hurts my heart to say this. I'd rather have fucking Phil than Orange Cassidy. And you can quote me on that. Because
it's also very possible. We're going to have another match. MJF and CM Punk's going to happen.
Yeah, that's going to happen. And I think that that's going to happen. But the other one I really want to see is Jay White CM Punk. I really want to see that. Because Jay White's going to fucking mop the floor with him, But again, like I said, that's another one. Like Jay White could take the belt off of MJF, and that would be the whole, because he's the catalyst of professional wrestling.
He can't really because he's being booked like shit. But at the same time, I guess they just put people where they want him anyways.
I know, and that's the sad part about Jay White is he is so good. And he's just being fucking tossed wherever. And it just kills me. It's like there's so many people on that roster, same thing. They're just getting tossed wherever, It's like we know Adam Cole's going to be toward the top because of his old lady. Let's go there. Yeah. And Roddy was a rocket to the top because of, Adam Cole. But why don't you rocket Roddy's old lady, Marina?
Because
She
she's
is
awesome.
awesome. Well, yeah, in wrestling that way, yeah. But other things, no, she's great. But yeah.
Well, yeah, in
Yeah.
Bloodsport she was a killer, but
Oh,
in
yeah.
AEW she was a mess.
Well, a lot
It
of
was
people in
crazy.
AEW are a mess. Jade Cargill, hi. Thank God she doesn't have the belt. Although I think it was a bitch move what they did with Taya, but you know what? That's just me.
Yeah, that's true.
That's just me. I just like, why does that have to be, Chris Statlander? And then what happened, last week? That was just bullshit. I'm just like, done skis with that. But I don't write this shit. I should write this shit, but no. And I think the Hung Bucks will probably get the trios title. Although I really wish that fourth person could come back. I know it's controversial, but I really wish. It's not gonna happen yet.
We'll
I'll
see.
Yeah,
I don't think
it's
it's
just sad
impossible.
because I will say. Well, the flight you said it wasn't possible.
Well, I don't mean then. I
But-
don't mean like ever. I just meant then. Then it's probably not
Well,
possible. I'm saying,
then,
but as far as like
yeah.
ever, I don't think it's impossible to think it could ever happen.
Yeah, and I think that with Wembley, I'm just like thinking to myself, if he were to do Wembley, the fucking his entrance, holy shit!
Yeah, it'd be neat.
That would be amazing just to think of it. I would definitely have to be. So how can I do some costuming for you on this momentous occasion? I did the other All In. Might as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, just stuff like that. But we'll see what happens. But yeah, you need to watch a Phil Brooks show. But definitely, if you do watch anything, watch Gage and Zack Sabre Jr.
That one I want to watch. That's the only thing that I feel like I'm missing right
Yeah.
now that I've been wanting to watch.
Yeah, I think that's probably one of. Now I wish that I was hoping someone had taped it, the like Gage talking to the crowd afterwards, and I'm pretty sure he said some great shit about Zack Sabre Jr. But I don't know, because I'd like to hear that. Fight doesn't keep the camera on, so it's anybody's guess.
Mm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But I will say that he did, for the record, for people knowing, he actually came out. He didn't bring merch with him, but he came out. He took pictures with everybody. Anyone who would come up to him. Didn't charge anything. Want something signed? Sure. No problem. And it was funny because a lot of my PWG friends, he remembered every single one of them. And it's kind of cool because, we've seen him, do some big things in PWG. And he's even like, hey, I'd love to come back. And yeah, he was amazing. He's awesome, And if any of you ever get a chance to see Zack Sabre Jr., you must go, especially if he's at an indie type of show, because you'll love it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well,
I think
because you shit your pants, I think it's time for last call. What do you say?
Yeah. Meeting's adjourned.
Yeah, I think so. So my buddy over here went wrong way. My buddy over here, you can find him at Ref Marsh on all the socials. You can even Venmo him at Ref Marsh. Oh my God!
We're doing last call. Just relax.
Let's
relax.
Venmo him some like toilet paper, or maybe it depends, guys.
Yeah,
we
that
can't
Venmo
have
works.
producer ladies freaking out like that. Okay, we can't have that. I can't have that. Oh my God!
If you Venmo that, I'll buy the producer lady a drink so she doesn't mind anymore.
Do you mind?
No.
Because she hasn't had a drink.
You need depends. You need depends. Yes. So I actually might just go to Marsha's Venmo just because. If you want to go to my Venmo, of course, it's just like all my socials at Ms. Amanda Jane. So guys, thank you for joining us for another episode 1 of the Dive Bar. of the IWC. Thank you for coming to Thursday Night Chaser. And I say, it's last call, everybody.
Cheers.
Hey, producer lady here. Thanks for tuning in. Continue to support us or buy us a drink by following and putting the I in subscribe on Twitch. Or subscribe and review our podcast on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to us. Cheers!
I would never have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks.